Hello, everyone. I'm hoping that, okay. My name is Xuan. I'm very happy to be back to my favorite small conference. It has been very exciting so far, so thank you. My heartfelt thanks to Nate and Juliana and all the organizers here. And last year, I talked about people taking the perspectives of human-looking robots. And I promised my audience a research update this year. So very quickly, this year I built a database with my collaborator/PhD advisor, Bertrand Mallet. I have a database of about 200 robots, and thousands of people rated the robots on 20 dimensions. So if you are interested in human-robot interaction or anthropomorphism, definitely talk to me. This year, I want to switch gear a bit and talk about human-human interaction. Specifically, I want to explore the potential of a new modality of social connection. That is technology-mediated affect sharing. Specifically, I want to talk about the psychological effect of feeling the representation of another person's heartbeat. So, heartbeat. Well, the collaborators, Malte, sitting right over there from Cornell, are the collaborators from the East and West Coast, and also SPSP for the founding. Heartbeat, the pulsation that conveys your livelihood, tracks your physical conditions, and reveals your innermost feelings. Nowadays, it's very common for people to use heart rate monitoring devices to track their physical and emotional health. But the heart is more than a blood pump. Actually, ancient Egyptians, when they preserved mummies, they destroyed the brains but preserved the heart because they believe that's the true self. And heart, the symbol, has been used across different cultures, across history, to give you this warm, fuzzy feeling about other people. The heartbeat is a visceral representation of another person's being. No wonder there has been emerging affective communication technology enabling people to feel others' heartbeat or the representation of others' heartbeat using devices such as the Apple Watch. And there has been initial user studies studying how this kind of a new form of social connection can make partners feel closer, emotional intimacy over long distance. But can the power of feeling the representation of another's heartbeat go beyond romantic relationships and maybe create stronger social connection or cooperation, even among strangers? So that's my research question. Can feeling the representation of another human's heartbeat promote pro-social and cooperative behaviors? To make people feel others' heartbeat, we use this device I borrowed from our collaborators, and this device can pick up the signal from a heart rate monitor and gives off this rhythmic vibration to represent the heartbeat. And I put that into a red pouch and let participants hold this device and go through decision-making tasks. So in order to measure pro-social and cooperative behaviors, I let them go through the dictator game, or you decide how to divide money between yourself and another person. Trust game, or you decide how much money to entrust to another person, to your partner. Money will be tripled, and that person might return some money back to you. And deception game is a conflict between telling self-benefiting lies or actually telling the truth, which might hurt your self-interest. Would people be more willing to be honest to the other person if they can feel the other's heartbeat? And to make sure if there's any effect to feeling others' heartbeat, it's not because people are more risk-taking, they feel like giving more money. We also have a non-social control task, which is people give money to the lottery. So the conditions, people feel their own the other's heartbeat, or actually we told them they feel the other person's heartbeat, which is not true. I'll review that. Or in comparison, they were told that they feel their own heartbeat. Or the mechanical condition is they hold the same vibration device, but were told that this is pre-programmed. Or the heartless condition, which they did not hold a vibration device at all. And between subject design, and actually the heartbeat signal was identical across all conditions, and we staged this interaction. There was no other partner. It's always a very stable heartbeat. So how did people respond? Well, in the dictator game, when people felt the other's heartbeat, they were more likely to give money to the partner compared to when they are feeling their own heartbeat. And the other two conditions, they stay in between. The trust game, when people believed that they felt the other person's heartbeat, they were more likely to trust the other person than when they believed that they felt their own heartbeat. And again, the other conditions stay in between. And deception game. When people believe that they feel the other's heartbeat, they were more likely to be honest to the other person than when they felt their own heartbeat. Now, again, the other two conditions stayed in between. And the lottery game, people were not responding differently in the lottery game when they were not interacting with the other partner. There was an unexpected difference between the other condition and the heartless condition, maybe saying something about priming the concept of heart altogether. So we thought, OK, there's a fact, the difference between the self and the other condition. Why was it? And was it because people felt that they were closer to the other person? So we asked them to respond to a few questions, but surprisingly, they didn't verbally respond any difference in closeness, which wasn't what I was expecting. Also, there was a small difference between the other and the heartless condition. So to conclude, when feeling another person's heartbeat rather than their own, people were more likely to share resources with the other person, more likely to trust the other person, and more likely to be honest to the other person. And we did not detect a difference in their self-reported perceived closeness. And the other conditions, they lie in between. So new direction one is why. In my current study, I'm just exploring the mechanisms here. I think there are 3-4 potential mechanisms here and ways to apply it. I mean, as a psychologist who always wished to be a designer in my next life, I have been thinking a lot about potential applications, and I think it's only limited by imagination. So your questions. Yes. Well, I'd say that actually I think the problem is a low power to detect any difference. I don't think it's closer to the control conditions than self. So that's why, for one thing, I'm increasing the power sample size in the next study to detect any difference. So I don't think it's just about feeling your own heartbeat. And it's also about feeling the other person's heartbeat. So maybe both directions. And on free will, I think that's an interesting candidate. I haven't thought about it. I've thought about 4 candidates, but free will may be adding a 5th to it. I'm still trying to connect the dots on how free will makes you less pro-social. I think by itself, it could be an interesting hypothesis. Yeah, and I'm also trying to, I don't have the intuition that feeling your heartbeat decreases your free will, but that could be another, yeah. Thank you. Yay.